What up, Buzz? You tapped in? Okay, Goose, you tapped in too? All right, Chicago, y'all tapped in? All right, boys, let's crack 'em. Feel like Mike in the fourth with the ball in my hands and I'm taking a shot. I'm the king in the madhouse on Madison, whether I make it or not. Now the crowd going crazy, they watching the play and I'm watching the clock. Got my shot in the air and the buzzer go off and I'm watching it drop. This team did things, MJ shot City 6 rings. D-Rose too big, too fast, too strong, history. And we good on that, put Jilla on the track and we good on wax. 3, 2, 1, everybody say Bulls on tap, Bulls on tap. Our city pretty and gritty, Benny the bull in the crowd getting hyper and litty. Me, I'm so drippy, it's slippery, nothing offends me. Banners on banners, we winners. We got the stats in the news, go and subscribe. Hang out with Buzzy and Goose, tapping with us, we the truth. Jilla just murdered the booth.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bulls on Tap. I'm your boy Buzz. I'm joined by my dude Goose. And we're here to recap a win, a 115-112 win. Bulls win in Dallas over the Mavericks. Before we get into this, be sure to go on tapsportsnet.com for all your Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs. Following us on Twitter at Bulls on Tap and on Tap Sportsnet. Following Goose at Goose on Tap and me at Buzz on Tap. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can listen to us. 5-star rating and review because it's cool and tough. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, if you get the time, please go to the YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, On Tap Sportsnet. Hit the little bell. Anytime we go live, you'll be notified. We're presented by Sports Illustrated Media Group. Goose, don't call it a comeback, but it was a comeback, and the Bulls beat the shorthanded Luka after the first quarter. Luka-less. Dallas Mavericks.
It was very weird. It was almost like 6 minutes hit left in the game, and the Mavericks just didn't want the lead anymore. It was almost like their team was trying to lose the game because they owe the Knicks their pick if it's in the outside of the top 10. And sitting with the Bulls, we were actually tied for 11th tonight-ish. 10.5-ish is where we were tied. So now, technically, as of right now, the Mavericks would indeed keep their draft pick. So unless some weird lottery stuff happens for them, now they're 10th. Now, yay, Mavericks get to keep their draft pick. Bulls still probably don't have one, especially if the Knicks lose their pick earlier in the draft, because then, it was a very weird game. But Terry Taylor played, and he capped this one off for us. Woo!
Yeah, HI Sports fan. That's for you, bud. Terry Taylor.
Who needs Nikola Vucevic?
Yeah. When you
just have Terry Taylor finish.
When you got TT on your team, bro. That's what happens. That's the kind of shit that goes down.
We had TT last year. We don't want that again. Tristan Thompson.
Oh yeah, I always TK. Tristan Kardashian is what I always call him. Yes, yeah, dude. Listen, man. They come out today. I wrote an article over at On Tap. As soon as the Mavs PR team released who was going to be out for the Mavericks in a win and stay alive or die game, and Kyrie Irving is out, Christian Wood is out, Green was out, I believe, and then they say Luka is going to play for the first, or no, he was going to play. It was going to be him and Powell, and then about an hour and a half after that comes out.
Only because it was Slovenia night.
Really?
The only reason he was on the floor was because it was Slovenia night. Similar reason that the only reason Vooch was playing tonight is because for the first time in his career, he has the opportunity to play all 82 games. So Vooch is going to play in the last game as well. So for the Mavs, Luka had to play. This game was scheduled to be Slovenia night against the Bulls because to start the season, Goran Dragic was still on our team. So to close the season, it was supposed to be a Slovenia matchup of Dragic and Luka at Dallas. So I don't believe that if that was the only reason, but I'm pretty positive that is why Luka played the first quarter and then the first possession of the second quarter.
Wild if that's the case. Absolutely wild. I'm just more confused on what Jason Kidd said the other week about, if there's a mathematical chance for them to get into this play-in, they're going to get into it. And you're going to start seeing how teams value this play-in. Like shit. like most fans do.
See, I think as a coach at that point, you have to make that statement.
Right.
You can't give any indication of anything else.
But they showed with their actions that they don't care about it.
Plus, when you come down to the last two games, you're looking at your team, and they did what we wished our front office would do. They accepted fucking reality. They went,
I'm not mad at them.
Hey, guess what? We can keep our draft pick because this situation is a little different than the Bulls. Obviously, the Bulls only get their pick in the top 4. We would have only been increasing our lottery odds. The Mavericks literally gave themselves their pick back by losing this game. And if they lose out, they really have no way of losing that outside of 14, 13, and 12, all jumping them in the lottery to move up into the top 4. Otherwise, they'll keep their pick in the top 10 this year. And it's a better pitch going into the offseason to Kyrie to stay. Hey, we got a top 10 pick that we can shop for some more talent to bring in too. It's just all around. They accepted their reality and their situation. And even with Luka Doncic said, we have no business in the playoffs or the play-in this year. It's just not for us. This is better for the future. And
it's wild that Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving aren't going to be in the NBA postseason.
Yeah. But they've got a smart owner who doesn't need the extra money from a playoff game.
Right. Cuban's not a dumb guy. You know, he's not a dumb guy. He saw the writing on the wall here, and probably Jason Kidd did too. It's like, listen, we're not going to go far. We knew we weren't going to win with what we had. We took a swing to see if Kyrie was going to work with Luka. It didn't really work. Done.
Yeah, no, I mean, at least not with this roster, but to have that kind of approach makes me so envious. As much as this game was embarrassing to watch, and I think it's horrible for the NBA product that teams can do this or allowed to do this, when especially since their season wasn't decided. Like, at least for the Bulls, no matter what you do tonight, you're the 10th seed in the East.
Right.
You're going into the play-in. So Bulls sitting there, players, I guess, at least makes sense optically for me there because their season's decided. It's not fair to the fans. But for the Mavericks, I don't know how they're not going to be penalized for something like this.
They should be. Remember when the Bulls got in trouble for a bunch of their shit? You know, I mean, that wasn't too long ago.
No.
Trying to tank out and lose games and whatever. I mean, they got in trouble. I mean, they get in trouble for everything.
Didn't we get disciplined for like benching Robin Lopez?
Yep.
That's what
You're
happened.
Exactly right. Yep.
Yeah. Great.
So
that should not be allowed.
Getting into the game here, Vooch gets 28 minutes. He 7 for 11 from the field, 5 for 5 from the free throw line. He had 20 points, 10 boards, 4 assists for Big Vooch there. Ayo Dosunmu had 12 points in 37 minutes, didn't hit a 3, took 5 attempts, but he had 12 points, 9 boards, 5 assists, 1 steal. Got to talk about Kobe White here. 42 minutes for Kobe White, 24 points, 11 assists, 7 boards, only 3 turnovers. He was the primary ball handler in this game. The 3 turnovers don't mean dick to me for what he did and how he ran the offense. And that was a great Kobe game for defense on the other end, albeit against a G Leaguer most of the time. But in all, 24 and 11 and 7 is a pretty good stat line. And I'm pretty proud that we saw his offensive game. Exactly what I just told you in the last episode. I wish you could see it put together a little bit more, and we got to see that. I know the competition probably wasn't up to snuff, but at least we got to see it.
Well, we made a little joke before we got on the show, like, oh, blow it up, build around Pat and Kobe, and you quickly shut down the Pat side of that combination. But no, tonight I think Kobe White is the only one who increased or retained his kind of projected value headed into the offseason of being a restricted free agent. He's definitely headed for a payday of some kind. Hopefully it keeps him in Chicago. But to that effect, I feel like Vooch might have hurt his payday. This team didn't put a center on the floor. He had Davis Bertans on him most of the night before they completely threw.
I mean, Powell only got 10 minutes, and he's like the only one you could, and he's undersized.
Yep. And then they completely threw the white flag and had all G Leaguers out there, and you had Reggie Bullock on him. Not a G Leaguer, but, small forward. Not by any means a center. And Vooch did not look good with a mismatch almost all night. And it wasn't like Kobe wasn't trying to find him.
No, Kobe was trying to find him.
The ball. He just looked, I don't know, or maybe when it's that phenomenon where it's too easy or you're too wide open, and you just keep botching shit. But he did not look good. To be playing scrubs like that and look so mediocre, I don't know how I felt about that. Sorry,
he went 7 for 11. What did you look for him to be more aggressive?
Yeah, I mean, and maybe he is just playing, like I said, for that legacy stat of playing every game in a full 82 game
Taking
season.
it easy. You already know you're locked in.
Yeah, you're already locked
try
in.
Not to overexert.
Yeah, just trying to get a little sweat in, keep a rhythm, but not do anything too crazy or, go 110, probably more like 85, 90. So I guess maybe I should back off of him for the night. But to be playing the size of players and the caliber of players that Vooch was matched up against tonight, I was a little disappointed with his performance.
Yeah, I can see that. Drummond didn't get in tonight. They're probably resting him too. It's such coach's decision.
Why didn't Marko Simonovic play?
I was about to bring that up. So yeah, Dalen Terry, 16 minutes. Marko didn't get in the game. Your first round pick had one more minute than the G League MVP. So you got that going for you. I don't understand all that. Dalen did not look good at all. He did not look good at all. He struggled mightily. You already know my thoughts on that, and everybody else who listens to the show religiously knows my thoughts on it. Dalen looks like he's got a little bit of a motor in him that I'd like to see developed. He's not ready yet, so I'm going to reserve judgment here on this one. Yeah, no shit. And then I do want to bring up Patrick Williams. We talked about the other people in the starting lineup outside of Caruso, who only played 18 minutes.
Pat had 20 plus. You can't not mention Pat, Buzz. What didn't you like about Pat's game?
Oh, I got, like I told you in the pre-show. Listen, Pat played well, right? I don't like the overhype that we got, and I love Stacey to death. I just didn't like the overhype that we got about this is what you can do if you run plays for him. They've run plays for him during the season, so stop it. Okay, like if we're gonna really talk about it, and people are gonna say, well, we never did it consistently enough. Stop it. Just stop. Patrick Williams could probably get 14 to 16 shots a game if he wanted to, but he passes out of them all the time. Watch the fucking game and stop looking at the stats.
Passes out of them, steps out of bounds, hesitates, does the
right. I mean, yeah. So he comes out tonight, and you got to say this is what he does. Listen, this is what he did against Minnesota last year. This is a season high for him. 23 points. This is a season high for Patrick Williams. 8 rebounds. He did it against scrubs, guys. So I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I want more out of the fourth
rebounds
pick of the
are misleading because, like we said, they were playing a small ball lineup smaller than Billy could even match tonight.
He was outplayed by Terry Taylor. I just want to say that. I do. I want to say that right now.
I mean, I was a little more encouraged by Pat's game tonight than you were. Definitely not serious build around this guy kind of notes. But you do see a potential role that could be carved out for him.
Oh,
if DeMar's moved, that mid-range game does look pretty smooth. For a two-way player, the game is there. I can't ever buy into the fact that his mentality is ever going to come around to being that dog that wants it. Because the tools are there, the skills are there, and it's just wanting it. And nobody can want it for Pat but Pat. Like, fans all want it for him, but it just I don't feel it.
He's an all right player. He could be a role player on a team.
But he's no freaking Terry Taylor.
He's no Terry Taylor. But again, I just don't people on Twitter take victory laps over fucking stat lines like this. And that's why I have to say
in a game like tonight.
He should have had 50. I'm serious. Like I'm not gonna fucking sit here with a charade like, oh my god, he played so well. Yes, he beat up scrubs. He should be doing that. He started almost every game this how it fucking fluctuates, but he's been a starter in the last year before he got hurt. Most of this year he was a starter. He should be doing this shit. Okay? It should be happening more.
No, this is what the Bulls need Pat to be doing consistently
for them to win
against real competition, to be a contender with the continuity that has been, so tight.
I'm just more so sickened, Goose, on the fact that this game they were down as bad as they were.
Oh, I wasn't sickened. I was enjoying every minute of that. The fact that we were playing our core guys minus Zach and DeMar for like more than 50% of this game, and we're getting our ass kicked. Dude. I was loving it. I wanted Dallas to somehow win this game. The fact that Billy didn't give the core the hook sooner. He gave them a little bit of time to redeem themselves against the the third level of scrubs that came out for the Dallas Mavericks. I really wish the Bulls would have found a way to lose this game, because watching our core pieces minus our two recent All-Stars really did not inspire at all.
Yeah, just a rough one to watch. I don't have much else for this game in general. And the reason being is because this game was not really much in general. It is what it is. I'm glad, listen, I like when the Bulls play well, and I like when they win. They took the season series against Dallas. So they beat them back in December. And remember that beat down we talked about in December. That was without Luka, and that was before the Kyrie trade. But, like I said, I'm glad when they win. It's just, that was a hard-fought victory against scrubs, and that sucks. I mean,
it was nice to go into a game without expectations for once.
Yeah, I could see that.
Something we rooted for at a certain point of this season was reverting back to that, just taking the expectations out of it and focusing development of whatever pieces you got at the trade deadline. And
I think that would make me so mad, though, because our first-round rookie didn't really get to fucking play in this game.
You mean...
development, right?
So I guess with that in mind, it's hard to judge the draft track record because Pat isn't a bad pick. For a number 4 pick, he's a bad pick. But in that draft class, you can make an argument that, yeah. So say they get one legitimate pass there. Does their drafting inspire you enough to want to rebuild? Like, most of us were excited because, to be honest, none of us really know all that much about Mark or AK because we don't know them personally. We haven't worked alongside of them. We just knew AK is the guy that drafted the chubby kid out of Serbia that plays at an MVP level now. That's really the biggest thing that we had to write home about when it came to AK. Obviously, the rest of that Dallas roster and the input he had in that, but to this point, like, if we're starting a rebuild come this offseason, should it be this front office, or do we have to just ride continuity because that might be all these guys know?
Whatever's going to happen is being built around Zach LaVine. I'll tell you that right now. I'm convinced he's not moving.
I don't think he is either.
Convinced. It's going to be a sign and trade. Maybe Vooch gets, or he comes back cheap, and I highly doubt he'll be back. DeMar, I'm sure, is going to be traded during the draft in some capacity. As far as them drafting, they've drafted Io, who I believe is can be a key rotational player. I know that his offense struggles sometimes, but on a team, I don't know if he is
you took a
15-minute per game, maybe 15 to 20 minutes per game for Io would be good for him at this point in his career and where he's at. But he stepped in, and it's not easy, to contribute like that. So
Io was an elite college player with a hometown story.
He was a very good college player. Yeah.
That they had fall into their lap.
Right. And then Marco, they blew that one. That guy can't even get in a fucking garbage game. I mean, if he doesn't play against Detroit on Sunday, I'm be blown away.
I mean, I'm thinking it's a pride thing with him. Like, I'm thinking he thinks that he's an NBA dude, and he's like, no, you're not playing me in these throwaway minutes.
Marco?
Yeah. I mean, or it's got to be that bad that they know he doesn't have a future here, and they're just like, yeah, hang out close to the coaches on the bench, enjoy your NBA ride. You're going to be going back.
We've watched Marco play in Hoffman State, or whatever that place is.
I know that we know that Marco's probably not an NBA player, but that doesn't mean that Marco's agent and Marco isn't telling himself that, like, I should be out here every night. I should be playing. I could do it with these guys.
His agent would be lying to him.
Yeah, agents often do that.
Yeah.
But, like, why else wouldn't he have played tonight? Like, this might have been his only opportunity
to showcase his skills. Maybe he's a dick and Billy doesn't like him.
He was sitting the closest on the bench to the coaches the whole night.
Yeah, maybe Billy just did that to dangle the carrot, the famous Jerry Reinsdorfism.
It just baffles me in the sense that, like you said, if he doesn't play in this Detroit game as well,
I'll be shocked. I'm telling you now, I will be.
Well, because what is the situation then? Like, this is probably this guy's only time to
he'll be gone next year. He'll be gone. He's the second round. He's done. This is the second year of his contract. Okay. Isn't it?
So it's a contractual obligation. That's it.
He's done. He's gone.
On the bench.
Yeah, he's gone. He's done after this year. He's Falacio. He's worse. Falacio can actually get in.
Hey, Falacio got 4 times 8. That's $32 million.
That's still fun. That is still wild. I don't have much else on this one. I know you don't either. We got Detroit on Sunday at 2:30. I don't know if we're gonna do a recap. That is Easter Sunday. I don't know if I'll.
What time do they play?
2:30 or noon. I'm sorry, noon.
I'm gonna be at work.
Okay, yeah. So we'll probably do something Monday with the pickle juice, I would assume, because we did make the play-in. So I'm gonna have to do that.
See, but I feel like the pickle juice should be like post playing. Like it's either got to be.
You know who we're playing, right?
The Raptors on Wednesday.
Yeah, and the Raptors are a very bad matchup for our Chicago Bulls, and we recapped that a lot last night on the show, and I really don't want to talk about that again. So if you missed that, just go back to the last episode, last 5 minutes. They're tall, they're big, and they're aggressive, and the Bulls don't respond well to that.
But on the off chance that we do sneak that game out, we gotta pop that Vlasic like some champagne and chug that shit.
I'm down.
So, but that's why I'm saying.
You want to save it for Wednesday?
Yeah, doing it beforehand on the off chance that they do it. We got to have a celebratory chug.
All right, so we're making it. We're making
it now. If they lose, it's just a sourpuss chug anyway, because we really don't want to do it.
No, I can't do it.
So for better or worse, Wednesday night's post-game show, pickle juice.
Motherfucker.
It's either going to be the start of the greatest playoff run
I don't know
of a mediocre team in sports history, or it's just going to taste like shit and be horrible.
That's what it's going to be. I don't know why the fuck I signed up for this. I'm a fucking idiot. Here we go. Can't wait for me to pass out and you have to call my wife and daughter to come down here and get me.
For the few viewers that do join us live, this might be the highlight of their season. So we got to give it to them.
I will. I'll do anything for the 3 people that watch the show. I'm just kidding. Oh my god, dude. All right. Well, yeah, Detroit, fuck them. They're 17-64. They suck. Bulls are much better, which is funny that they're much better than that team. Here he goes. This fucking guy. Knew it.
Go. There's the hype man. The hype man, the stat man, the man, the myth, the legend, the shy sports fan.
Love that guy. I can't wait to meet him one day. I really can't. I'm gonna buy him a beer. Any words about Detroit before we get out of here for the night, man? Because it's Friday night, and
no.
I got the new PGA Tour golf on EA.
So you've moved from shooting zombies and enemy arms to shooting golf balls, huh?
I'm usually a big sports gamer. I'm not a usual shooting guy. I don't really play those games. I'm very bad at Call of Duty. I'll tell you now, I'm terrible. I'm like my KD, which is kill death ratio, is way below 1.
You're duty at duty?
Yeah, I'm fucking. Oh my god, I'm worse than duty. I'm the runs. I'm bad. I'm telling. I'm bad. I'm just being honest with you. I'm bad.
Yeah.
We got this new
we
golf
make it
game.
to about the 23-minute mark before we start getting a little vulgar.
Yeah, that's usually when it starts getting real bad. But yeah, I got this golf game, so that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, like I said, I'll be at work for the Detroit game. I am assuming that Zach and DeMar aren't going to play again. Vooch will probably play, a cautious 20-something minutes to get that personal goal, playing a full
all
NBA
82 games.
season.
That is an impressive stat.
No, that is. I mean, and in terms of going into negotiations and sitting down at the table, well, you worried about my longevity? I just played all 82 games last year, so
I'm durable.
I'm durable.
And I'm going to give you a double more times than that.
Yep. And I'm going to give you a double almost every night. So
right.
Where's my $20 million?
Unfucking real. Are those your closing thoughts?
Those are my closing thoughts because the Detroit game doesn't matter in the slightest. It's all going to be about Wednesday, the pickle juice, and the play-in, the beloved play-in, brother.
Bulls on tap, pickle juice. I can't wait. Can't wait to make this happen and throw up in front of every fucking buddy. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. I'm going to look like that fucking person from Scary Movie when they throw up in there. It's just a jet stream. That's what that's going to be. That's going to suck. All right, everybody be sure to go on tapsportsnet.com for all your Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs. Following us on Twitter at Bulls on Tap and on Tap Sportsnet. Following Goose at Goose on Tap and me at Buzz on Tap. Anywhere you can listen to podcasts, you can listen to us, 5-star rating and review because it's cool and tough. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel on Tap Sportsnet YouTube. Hit the little bell. Anytime we go live, you'll be notified. We're presented by Sports Illustrated. Monday, we will see you because we're going to recap what happened in the Pistons game on Monday instead of on Easter. And then on Wednesday is playing Pickle Juice. Don't miss it.